Hey, what's up, everybody? We are on page 352 in the scriptures, 1 Kings 5 and 6. Still talking about Hiram Abiff, question mark, and Solomon and the building of the temple. Hopefully you're following along in your own word at home. We're going to read pretty quick. It's going to be a pretty quick installment today, which is good. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, so your prayers are appreciated. I don't know if it's a bad cold or a light flu or what, but you know, joint pain and just the blah blah blah, ears, nose, throat, headache kind of thing. So appreciate that. Also, brief note on Grindstone. We are fundraising for Grindstone Mission for a Torah observant couple that has one child whose house is filled with mold, and I'm going to take a track hoe and I'm going to smash that house into bits, and I'm going to put what's left of that house in the dumpsters, haul it off, and then we're going to put a new house in its place. And I will put a link to the GoFundMe that they have started, or actually a friend started it for them, for all the stuff that goes inside the house, the beds and the pillows and blankets and toothpaste and blah blah blah, all that stuff. So Caitlin and Christian are their names. They're second generation Torah observant, which is incredible, and they have one young child, and their house is got 40,000 parts per million black mold in it. About 200 parts per million is allowable. They've got 40,000. So we're going to get rid of that house and put another one in its place. So if you want to hit the GoFundMe link down below for Caitlin and Christian, that'd be awesome. Keep them in prayer. Keep Grindstone in prayer. Also, you can check out grindstoneministries.com if you want to donate towards the building of the house. You can do that there. So let's start in 1 Kings 5. And Hiram, sovereign of Sor, sent his servants to Solomon because he heard that they had anointed him king in place of his father, for Hiram had always loved David. And Solomon sent to Hiram, saying, "You know my father David was unable to build a house for the name of Yahweh, his Elohim, because of the battles which were all around him, until Yahweh put them under the soles of his feet. But now Yahweh my Elohim has given me rest all around. There is neither adversary nor evil incident. And see, I intend to build a house for the name of Yahweh my Elohim, as Yahweh spoke to my father David, saying, Your son, whom I set on your throne, in your place, he does build the house for my name. And now command that they cut down cedars for me from Lebanon, and let my servants be with your servants, and let me pay you wages for your servants, according to whatever you say. For you know there is none among us who knows to cut timber like the Sidonians. And it came to be, when Hiram heard the words of Solomon, that he rejoiced greatly, and said, Blessed be Yahweh this day, for he has given David a wise son over this great people. And Hiram sent to Solomon, saying, I've heard that which you sent me. Let me do all you desire concerning the cedar and the cypress logs. Let my servants bring them down from Lebanon to the sea. Then I put them in rafts by the sea to the place you direct me, and I shall spread them out there. Then you take them up, while you do my desire by giving food for my household. So Solomon says, hey, you guys are good at cutting timber. We'd love to have some, and I'll hook you up, homie. Let's build this house for Yah. And Hiram says, sounds good. You know we're good at cutting timber. Not only will I cut it, I'll ship it wherever you want it, and I appreciate you looking out for my people. Let's build this house for Yah. And Hiram gave Solomon cedar and cypress logs, all his desire, as many as he needed. And Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 cores of wheat as food for his household, and 20 cores of pressed oil. Thus Solomon gave to Hiram year by year. So every year, 20,000 cores of wheat and 20 cores of pressed oil. Let's see back here in El Scripturos, there's a thing. Garments of the high priest, units of measure. Sorry guys, you know I don't plan this out. Be gone from me, B. Can't find it. a core. 10 ephahs, or 220 liters, approximately 6.25 U.S. bushels. 220 liters. So 20,000 times 220. So 440,000 liters of wheat per year. It's a lot. 220 liters, that's a 55-gallon drum. So essentially you've got 55-gallon, 20,000 55-gallon drums of wheat going from Solomon to Hiram, and 20 55-gallon drums going of oil going from Solomon to Hiram. Man, my head's a little bleh. Forgive me. Alright. So, continuing. Shabbat. And then Yahweh gave Solomon wisdom, as he had promised him. And there was peace between Hiram and Solomon, and the two of them made a covenant. And King Solomon raised up compulsory labor out of all Israel, and the compulsory labor was 30,000 men. And he sent them to Lebanon, 10,000 per new moon by courses. They were 1 new moon in Lebanon and 2 new moons at home. And Adoniram was over the compulsory labor. So he's got 30,000 guys. He breaks them into 3 10,000-man shifts. 1 month on, 2 months off. Not a bad gig. And he sent them to Lebanon, 10,000 per new moon by courses. There were 1 new moon in Lebanon, 2 new moons at home. And Adoniram was over the compulsory labor. And Solomon had 70,000 bearing burdens and 80,000 hewing stone in the mountains, besides 3,300 from the chiefs of Solomon's deputies who were over the work, those ruling over the people who labored in the work. And the king commanded, and they brought large stones, precious stones, to lay the foundation of the house of hewn stones. And Solomon's builder and Hiram's builder and the men of Gebal did hew and prepared timber and stones to build the house of Yahweh. Chapter 6. And it came to be in the 480th year after the children of Israel had come out of the land of Mitzrayim, in the 4th year of the kingdom of Solomon over Israel, in the new moon of Ziv, which is the 2nd new moon, that he began to build the house of Yahweh. And the house which sovereign Solomon built for Yahweh was 60 cubits long, about 90 feet, 20 wide, about 30 feet wide, and 30 cubits high, about 45 feet high. Chicken, you need to go get some yonder. And the porch at the front of the Hakal, or the temple, of the house was 20 cubits long, 30 foot, according to the breadth of the width of the house, and its width 10 cubits from the front of the house. It's about 15 foot deep. And he made for the house windows with narrowed frames, and against the wall of the house he built rooms all around, against the walls of the house all around the Hakal and the speaking place. Thus he made side rooms around. It's interesting, Yeshua says, my Father's house has many rooms. Excuse me. Yes, it does. The lowest side room was 5 cubits wide, the middle one was 6 cubits wide, and the third one was 7 cubits wide. For he made narrow ledges around the outside of the house so as to not lay hold on the walls of the house. And the house, when it was being built, was built with finished stone made ready beforehand, so that no hammer or chisel or any iron tool was heard in the house while it was being built. So they did all the prep of the stonework away from the site, and then brought the finished stones in and stacked the stone from there. The doorway for the middle side room was on the right side of the house, and they went up by stairs to the middle side room, and from the middle to the third. So he built the house and completed it, and he paneled the house with beams and boards of cedar. And he built the side rooms of the structure against all the house, each 5 cubits high, and they were fastened to the house with cedar beams. And the word of Yahweh came to Solomon, saying, This house which you are building, if you walk in my laws, and do my right rulings, justice, and shall guard all my commands and walk in them, then I shall confirm my word with you. So if then, we see this over and over again in the Old Testament and the New Testament, if then. So if you do what I told you to do, Then I shall confirm my covenant with you, my word with you, which I spoke to your father David, and shall dwell in the midst of the children of Israel, and not forsake my people Israel. So Solomon built the house and completed it, and he built the walls of the house inside with cedar boards. From the floor of the house to the ceiling he paneled them on the inside with wood, and covered the floor of the house with planks of cypress. And he built 20 cubits at the rear of the house, from floors to the walls, with cedar boards. And he built it inside as the speaking place, as the most set-apart place. And the house was 40 cubits, its hekel before it. And the cedar for the house was carved with ornaments and open flowers. All was cedar, not a stone was seen. So they paneled the whole thing with cedar wood. And he prepared the speaking place in the midst of the house, to place the ark of the covenant from Yahweh there. And the front of the speaking place was 20 cubits long, and 20 cubits wide, and 20 cubits high. And he overlaid it with refined gold. So about a 30-foot cube overlaid with fine gold, and overlaid the slaughter place of cedar. And Solomon overlaid the inside of the house with refined gold, and made gold chains pass over the front of the speaking place, and overlaid it with gold. Thus he overlaid the entire house with gold, until the entire house was completed. And the entire slaughter place that was by the speaking place he overlaid with gold. And inside the speaking place he made 2 cherubim of olive wood, 10 cubits high, 15 foot tall. And one wing of the cherub was 5 cubits, 7.5 feet. And the other wing of the cherub was 5 cubits, 10 cubits from the tip of one wing to the tip of another. It's interesting, we have this modern concept of cherubim being like these little tiny, like fat baby looking things with wings. No, man, they were big, fearsome, powerful, angelic beings, like 15 foot tall with a 15-foot wingspan. Huge, massive, powerful, angelic beings of light, not these little babies with cartoonish wings on their back. And the other cherub was 10 cubits. Both cherubim were of the same size and shape. The height of one cherub was 10 cubits, and so was the other cherub. And he placed the cherubim, the cherubs, in the midst of the inner house, and they stretched out the wings of the cherubim, so that the wings of the one touched one wall, and the wing of the other cherub touched the other wall, and their wings touched each other in the middle of the room. And he overlaid the cherubim with gold. And he carved all the walls of the house all around, both inside and outside, with carved figures of cherubim and palm trees and open flowers. And he overlaid the floor of the house with gold inside and out. So everything is gold inside of here. And for the entrance of the speaking place he made doors of olive wood. The lintel, the doorposts, a fifth. And the 2 doors were of olive wood, and he carved on them figures of cherubim and palm trees and open flowers, and overlaid them with gold. And he spread the gold on the cherubim and on the palm trees. And so he made doorposts for the door of the hekel of olive wood, a 4th part. And the 2 doors were of cypress wood, and the 2 leaves of one folded, and 2 leaves of the other door folded. And he carved cherubim and palm trees and open flowers, and overlaid them with gold laid smoothly on the carved work. And he built the inner courtyard with 3 rows of hewn stone and a row of cedar beams. In the 4th year, the foundation of the house of Yahweh was laid, in the month of Ziv. And in the 11th year, in the month of Bul, the 8th new moon, the house was completed in all its matters and according to all its plans. Thus he built it for 7 years. Quick read today, y'all. That's what we got today. We'll pick up on 7 next week. I appreciate y'all. Have a blessed day. Shalom.